Good day, everyone. October is the month of mental wellness and cancer. Today, we will talk about mental health of patients who are suffering with cancer. It is rampant across the world, and hence, special attention needs to be paid to create a positive awareness for people suffering with this rampant disease. Today, we have Dr. Sujata Singhi, international best selling author of two books and the recipient of the prestigious Dr. Sarojini Naidu International Award and the Gem of India National Award. She is a renowned speaker and trainer on the science of sound, spirituality, life, wealth, wellness, and wisdom with the power of sound. Her book, The Power of Sound, which has won numerous awards, has also been titled as The Boon to Mankind by our past president, Sri Pranab Mukherjee, in May 2017. Dr. Sujata Singhi is also a speaker. She's a trainer, wealth and wellness coach, sound and spiritual scientist who has been conferred with 5 doctorates and a D.Litt. Her work with sound and her book Power of Sound, wherein various terminal cases of cancer have been healed and treated with sound. Welcome, Dr. Sujata Singhi. It is a pleasure to have you on board for this talk. Congratulations on Reclaim Your Riches, which has made the top bestseller today. And when you have launched this book, Reclaim Your Riches, it has been. Did you know that it will be the top best-selling in 3 categories?
So thank you so much, Niveta, for the introduction. Probably it was somewhere in my subconscious mind, but I would say that I was not aiming as a bestseller. What I was aiming as, what is it that I can give to the world through this writing? Because it's a medium wherein you leave behind a legacy of your knowledge. So my thought was only what I can give back to the society, to the world, which will live on. And it turned out to be good. It became a bestseller. And yes, people have read the book, they have appreciated it. And I just hope that more and more people read the book, transform their lives, and see a better light and life with a new perspective.
Thank you, ma'am. Indeed, it is a legacy and it will carry on for decades and centuries to come. Ma'am, I have one question to you. Can you please share with our viewers about sound, which you use as medicine on cancer patients? It's a very novel subject.
Sound I had actually started using on patients when I had when I started taking it up as a research. And during that point of time, I had actually studied sound for a pretty long time. Being a musician, a fourth generation musician, there was a lot of things already known to me. But when I could find solace in sound and music, I thought it could help people as well. And I started getting more and more number of patients who were terminally ill cancer patients. That is the relapsed cases. And when I started working on them, I realized that this is giving a very good effect on them. And it was nothing less than a miracle, where even the cases which were termed as not being able to revive, just a few days to live, not months also, such cases started coming to me. And when I was attending to these patients, I just had a feeling that yes, it can work. And with just that thought that yes, it can work, of course, with the knowledge of how to use it, this turned out like a miracle and the person was healed. And when the person was healed completely, I'm not telling healed just like, okay, completely healed, because just after 2 months, few months, I can say 2-3 months, they told me that he's all fine and he had also gone to get his bone marrow transplant in UK. And today, that is almost like 4-5 years now, and this person is leading a happy, fulfilling life with his family. He's 34 now, so you can imagine when he had a child, he was just 1 year old. And the wife came up to me that something can be happened, because doctor said few days left, do whatever you want, try out whatever. Sound came to that age, and this person has revived. After this, there were a number of cases. Like this case we were talking about was a patient in Delhi who was put up in AIIMS hospital. And from there, this revival came up, and then everybody said, wow, there is something to it. And that is how I started training more and more doctors into it, making them understand that this is something which is very effective. We need to take it as a treatment, and we don't have to cut out on all the modern medicine. Let it be. But along with it, we are going to use it as complementary. And that because of that, it is going to help them revive. Now, how it works scientifically, I'll be explaining it later as we go. And in my book, Power of Sound, I have explained everything in detail. So anybody looking at what is the miracle? How did it work? I said, I'm not a magician. It was pure physics working on the human anatomy and activation happening. And that is the reason the person, not just one person, but many cancer patients have been revived. So whenever there's a terminal disease, there's a lot of mental turmoil which comes in. Person doesn't have to sink into it. Just let it whisk by. See what is the opportunity that is there available. Something which has not been seen because of the cloudiness of our beliefs. That cancer means canceling lives. No, there is something which is not seen, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So with that mindset, I started taking up many cancer patients, and with the divine grace, all of them have been healed. I would say it is more than 85% success rate is what I had seen. So yes, we can definitely look at life with a new light. When we know that there is something which the universe has given it, we need to use it in the proper way, and life can be beautiful. That is the mission. Joyous living with the power of sound.
Very nice for our viewers to actually travel with you on this mission, ma'am. And it's been a brilliant journey so far for me as well. Ma'am, can you please share a few cases which were miraculously healed through the power of sound?
Now I will not talk just about cancer. Now, when you talk about this, there are various other ailments also. Now, because it's a cancer month, I started with cancer patients. Now, there was a patient who was around 80 plus, and this happened in Singapore. The person had a stroke, and a lot of medication was tried on him. Of course, they couldn't give the harsh medications because of the age, but they tried everything what was happening, and they said, yes, it's wait and watch. Let us see how the patient is going to revive. The granddaughter of this person was my student of sound in Singapore. So she just gave me a call telling, can you help grandpa, because there is not much difference or much improvement seen right now. And I have seen the miracles even in the training room. So can you do something? So I said, okay, I will plan out coming to Singapore in the next 3 to 4 days, and we can take a call. So she arranged for everything that the hospital agrees to having this particular therapy put up along with the medication which he was in, getting his reports, studying on his case, everything was done. And then the doctor said, yes, like they were open to it, because of course, when the family puts their foot down, the doctors also know that's a case when it is not much that can be done with. So they agreed happily. So I would say it is really good that they were very open to it. So they transferred the patient from that particular, it was not exactly an ICU, but it was more or less like ICU with all the apparatus put up. So they moved him to a physiotherapy room, and I started giving the treatment. So the day one treatment, because there was not much of action or reaction from his end, not even opening the eyes, so I didn't know what is happening. So the day one therapy was done, and then I moved, because the hospital timings and the treatment timings was over. So that was 1 hour of my treatment which was given. And when next day when I went, that was the time allotted, the bed was empty. So as our mind goes with our belief, I thought probably he's journeyed onwards. And I just looked around, bed empty, all neat and clean. So I was just thinking probably, so I better start praying, just for this Om Shanti. But then I turned around and I saw the nurse smiling at me. So I just thought, like, what's happening? I asked her, where is the patient? She said, you look in the corner, there is a patient sitting on the wheelchair. So I told her, yes, I see. So she said, and he was talking to his granddaughter, whom I couldn't see because her back was turned. Right? Like I could see, not exactly back, but sideways. So I couldn't see the face. And the head was being nodded. She was just like, nodding her head, and the grandpa was on the top of his voice. She said, he is the patient. He was awake. The patient who did not move was sitting and expressing out all the feelings, the top of his voice, that the granddaughter was so surprised. She didn't know what to talk. She was just nodding her head with the mouth open. And he was speaking in Cantonese or Mandarin. I did not understand. So I was just thinking, like, what? She said, you know what? He's become super active. You left. He slept very well. And super active. Slept means naturally he was sleeping all these days. But he was super active in the morning. And then he was super active, but then it became too much for others to handle, because he was expressing all that happened to him. And after 3 days, I had to go to Malaysia, and in the lounge, I get a call that if Dr. Su I'm called as Dr. Su there, if Dr. Su is going to India, I have to go back home. So the doctors had to discharge him. He went back home. Now it's almost like 3 years plus. He is leading a normal life. He moves around the house with his walking stick. And just a few days ago, his granddaughter had spoken to me and she told me, Grandpa is all fine. So this is the miracle, one of the various miracles I wanted to share, how sound can help anybody. And why it helps, how it helps, is because of the activation of the self-healing mechanism. Sound is a science. We have to be very careful how to administer it. It is medicine. It is not that you play something, some music, and you feel it's going to happen. It is very, and the deeper understanding is very important. Allowing the person to go into the various stages of their consciousness is important. Setting them up and aligning each and every cell is very important. And once that is done, sealing it in such a way that they are able to activate it within themselves so that their healing process starts. Now, treatment is something we do from above. Healing is something we do from within. So that cells have to be healed. And in that process, they can be able to be as a form of treatment. So sound as medicine, it is the future of medicine. Lot of work is being done in this particular frame. And we need to understand that this is the future of medicine. And if we handle it properly, if we learn it scientifically, we can heal the world. So there are various examples, all the various cases. In this book, I can say there are only 10% of the cases.
Understood.
I have got so many cases, from the small fractured patient on the wheelchair standing up after one group meditation. Now, going into that self-healing activation of the brain, because the mind is so powerful. If it is able to go into that self-activation mode with the right frequencies, then the body can be healed. So in the cases of cancer, like because we're going to talk about cancer and about mental wellness, there are a lot of patients who go into depression. They go into anxiety, states of anxiety, the lingering of the sadness, not just the patient, but the whole family. Now, when that happens, it's very important to administer mental wellness first, so that the other medication which is being administered works effectively. So I always work along with the doctors, with the oncologists, to see that the patient, like there are many patients who give me a call that now I'm going for my chemo, so can you do something, because the patient is very anxious, because there's a lot of things which happens in the body when this particular radiation and chemo has been administered. So I just tell them, okay, tell the doctor, 10 minutes, I want to do a particular exercise. And that is when I intervene, administer the sound. They say, oh, now I'm feeling relaxed. I feel more in surrender mode, that I will be healthy. And then after it is done, it goes smoothly. And after that, I take up 1 full month for them to get well, administering sound. And then they say, yes, where they were doctors telling they would need 5, 7, 8 chemo cycles, they have come to 3, 4. And doctor says, this is the report. And these reports have been shared, which says 0 cancer cells. So then I say, yes, that is what was needed. What more do we need, right? So worry will only kill. So don't worship worry. Faith will make you a full-blown potential trajectory of good health. So move on to that. So having faith and using sound will create miracles of joyous living. So when I have seen it with my own eyes, I have witnessed it, and I've been also instrumental in cases, I understand that when I can, anybody in the world can. And with my courses and the workshops, which I bring the simplicity of the whole concept, more and more people should learn it the right way. It is not about doing anything and seeing, okay, if it works, otherwise it doesn't. When we are treating, be very specific. It is like you're injecting a medicine into the person. So use sound as medicine and learn it the right way, so you can just put it up into the world and help mankind.
Very true, ma'am. And I'm so glad we're touching upon this subject, because in today's world, mindfulness, to be more aware, is something that a lot of people are talking about. But having said that, like you said, worry is the first enemy of anything, I would say. So but it's inevitable for people to feel frightened or worrisome about something. So can you tell us from your viewpoint, ma'am, what is the importance of mental and emotional well-being when it comes to cancer patients?
Now, the very fact, we have heard people around, like you would have seen your neighbors or maybe in the family or maybe in your relatives, that there have been cases of cancer and the person did not survive. Okay. Now, with that experience, we create a belief that this word itself, if it comes in the report, the first thing the person will straight away go back, okay, I don't have time, I will not live long. Okay, this is the first thing that includes not just the patient, but also the family. So there is a lot of anxiety, there is a lot of sadness, depression, all of these things. Now they become like a, it goes into momentum. These particular beliefs and these particular negative emotions, they start surfacing. Now, instead of looking at the possibilities, they look at the final outcome, which is not, it is not destined to be. We definitely are. Yes, there is always a choice that a human being can make. Now, first thing here, I would say that being a spiritual scientist, I always tell that learn to clear and learn to create. If we do not learn to clear, how can we create? So first and foremost, always ask yourself, okay, this is the condition. I accept it. I am aware about it. What is the action plan I need to take so that it becomes a creation of a possibility? So do not dwell into a case where, okay, this is it, okay, fine. So X, Y, Z, done. We shouldn't go into that. Always look, what is the possibility? Go back to the A. Because when we are aware, if we are mindful, if we are conscious about how we are living, we can definitely figure out what is it that can, in the universe, that can help. Till we are clouded with fear or anxiety or depression, we will not be able to see clearly the possibilities that it holds. So, India is a country which has seen the wisdom which no other civilization has seen. And they have already given the various ways of life which a person can administer, can apply in their regular life, so they can see a new life. Now, when we can accept those aspects, see from the scientific point of view. If a plant is diseased, what is it that it does? If an animal is diseased, what is it that they do? Don't they detoxify themselves? So as human beings, why can't we detoxify our minds first? When the mental and emotional detoxification is going to happen, the physical body, which is diseased, will automatically get conditions into getting into a self-healing mode. And when it goes into that self-healing mode, even the most terminal illness can be revived. So in Power of Sound, I have very clearly put up the various diseases, all the energies that are a part of it, how we can cleanse it, and how we can take part in a regular life, just take it as a new lease of life. So mental and emotional wellness is very, very important, because if that is taken care of, I guess the physical condition automatically comes into the state. Now, is it easy? No. You need to have the guidance of a person who is a specialist, of a person who understands in and out of it. That is the reason when you were speaking, like I'm into a wellness, wisdom coach, all these things is because I have studied all these aspects in detail as a life coach. So when we are doing a life coaching, like a certified life coach, I said this certification is not for the wall. We need to understand what goes behind. So I went into doing my doctorate into it. And when I was doing that doctorate, understanding the science of happiness, science of wellness, science of sound, science of NLP, how I can help people using all these things together. That is the reason Reclaim Your Riches came up. So it is not of one particular thing that we can think that, okay, we can do the magic. Try to seek guidance, very important. Now this guidance, you can get it from a small child also. A small child will speak up something and it will connect to you and say, okay, this is what it is. So learning to be aware, learning to connect is very, very important. And I would say one very important thing, nobody needs to despair in life. Don't give up. There is no quitting until we are living. So we need to step up and say, what is the possibility that I can see, feel, sense, and heal myself with? If you look at those aspects, whatever comes in your report will gradually wean off. Human beings have got a lot of power. We need to learn to use it. And with Power of Sound, you can reclaim your riches. Raise your vibrations and you will see life bloom into a beautiful lotus, which I always say, life is nothing but a beautiful lotus.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And like you rightly said, it is fear. It is the fear of fear itself that is consuming most people. And mental wellness and health are so interlinked. And I'm glad we brought that up. So when we're talking about reclaim your riches, also, ma'am, I personally read the book and I was enamored with each page, with the amount of content and with the amount of information and knowledge. I am someone who can finish a book of 700 pages in an hour, but I took days and days to finish it because it felt like the modern day Bhagavad Gita for me. It's something that you have to understand and assimilate and then implement in your life, and it has been a beautiful journey, ma'am. So for all our viewers who have not grabbed your copy of Reclaim Your Riches, do not waste time. Grab a copy now because it has been a brilliant journey for me, and I'm sure it'll be the same for you. Ma'am, I have one other thing that I want to ask you. Anything specific, since we are talking about cancer? Breast cancer is one thing that, a lot of women, a lot of people are being more aware of in current day world. So anything specific you'd like to share with regard to patients who are suffering with breast cancer or who have crossed through the threshold of breast cancer?
Yes, breast cancer, as we know, it is connected to the femininity of a woman. Now I'll talk about breast cancer in women. Men also do get, but majorly it affects the women because it is a part of the femininity. And the first thing to drop, now the fear of cancer is what I had explained before. Now with regards to breast cancer, the first thing is a drop in the self-esteem. The first thing is the drop in the self-esteem worsens the case. The depression, anxiety, sadness, that was lingering on, but add on is a drop in the self-worth, the self-esteem. Now, when a person's self-esteem drops, the first thing to drop is the secretion of the hormones, which is taking care of the happiness or the sociability of the human being. And when that happens, somewhere the person starts cutting off from people, starts going into seclusion, and see, the environment may or may not look at them like that, but they themselves look at them like that. We have to remember one thing: this human body, we have to take care of it in a very, very profound manner, in a very, I would say, like a temple. Take care of your body, because we say within our body dwells the divine, and that divine is our self-healing mechanism. Okay, that is the intelligence of the universe which dwells within us. Now, when we are talking about it, that you shut the door for that activation to happen. That all the treatments are done, everything, but still that mindset of I am not enough, I am not complete, I am not who I am, loss of identity, loss of gender identity. So those things, they linger on for a very, very long time. And when these things are not understood by the person undergoing and the family and the caretakers, it worsens. So whenever there is a person who is having such condition, first they have to accept that this is a physical body which is having a condition, but there is an intelligence within me which will help me to wade through this issue, and I will be able to lead a normal life. Now, normal life is very important. The reason being, many a time relationships go bad with the spouse after all these issues. So if a person comes in with the confidence that yes, this is me, I accept myself. And when you accept yourself, that self-confidence will radiate to the people around. They will start accepting you as you are. And any disease please do not take it personal. It is just happened because it is meant to be. That's it, period. Do not dwell into that. And if the person is able to take it, okay, it is there, I'm aware, and I also accept it. Do not be in a denial mode. I accept it, and I take the action of clearing all the negativity from my mind, from my emotions, and let me build up that confidence that the intelligence within me is going to keep my self-confidence, keep my self-esteem in place. So I guess if a person comes from that mindset, somewhere down the line, they will be able to wade through this issue and also see that they are not being hampered socially, physically, mentally, or emotionally, even after crossing over this particular episode. So take it as an episode and move ahead. Is it easy? No. You will have to prepare yourself, be in the company of people who will help you feel more empowered, uplift you every time you sink into these thoughts. That is very important. Read books, Join groups where there are people who empower you, who actually enlighten you to awaken the light within you. So if you're in the company of such people who are energy enhancers, you will definitely be in a zone of speed recovery. So for all the women, I would say, do not despair. It is not loss of your femininity. It's just an episode. Let it go. But you're still a feminine energy. Nobody can take away that from you. Yes. So just take it as an episode and move ahead. And don't forget to be in the circle of champions who are going to become your energy enhancers. Be away from people who are your energy suckers, because that is very, very dangerous for even a normal human being. Yeah. So on that note, I would say nothing to despair. And of course, there are various recordings which I've also shared. So they can go, and there is one recording on the YouTube which you can definitely listen to, so that you will not fall into a zone of sadness, because it helps release depression. So you will and also enhance your immunity. So go ahead and listen to it. It's freely available on my YouTube. It is one of the links which I had researched upon and put it up there. So it is only to help mankind. So go ahead, use it, give it to your friends also, whoever is. It's not necessary that just cancer patients need to listen. Anybody listening to it, you will be happy. You will be in a zone of happiness. That is what is needed. So I guess everything is possible if we open ourselves to the possibilities.
Beautiful, ma'am. It's all about, not limiting our possibilities and not letting definitions limit our thought processes. Absolutely brilliant, ma'am. One specific thing that you mentioned caught my attention, ma'am. It's about people around us, energy, let it be energy enhancers or, anyone else also. But sometimes we have people, like it could be family, it could be people who are taking care of us. It could be so many different people. So what is your message to patients, and more importantly, family and caretakers of people who are going through the journey of cancer?
Yes. Now, whenever there is a patient of cancer, the patient is anyway being given a lot of attention by the doctors, by the family members. But there is also a lot of work which goes with regards to the family members and the caretakers. They are going through a different turmoil altogether. There also we need to understand that now there is something called as there's a term called as psycho-oncology, wherein working on the psychology of the person who is undergoing cancer treatment. But we also need to understand that there has to be something done for all the people who are the caretakers, the people who are the family members. That is very important, because the report, when it comes, the family members are also getting that big jerk. Right, because the mindset is the same, right? So they also getting the jerk, and the relationships and all these things, they affect a lot. So one thing which I would like to tell all the family members is, again, open yourself to the possibilities, just like the lady did for her husband. She was in fear, with just a few days left. She's one of the good examples, because she was just 30 then. She was thinking that now the world is going to crash with 1-year-old child. What will I do? And doctors telling just a few days left, not even weeks or months. So she looked at the possibility. She contacted a friend who only knew me, not closely, but she had heard about me. And she said, can you help? See, when you open yourself to possibilities, everything is possible. And today the man is all fine. So when that is it, open yourself to possibilities. And first thing, always see where is the light which can guide me. And what you look for is what you will get. If you look for sadness, if you drop into it, you will only find more reasons to feel sad. But if you look at, okay, now even in this darkness, where is the silver lining around the dark cloud? And you will definitely see it. So do not despair. And a calm mind is very important. If you are not calm, you will not be able to see that light. So whenever any situations, I would just feel that we should save the world from such conditions. So better start taking care of your health right from day one, from the time that you don't have to wait for those diseases to come up. Just start with having a healthy lifestyle, being calm, practice your meditations, join groups which are doing it, be in the company of people who enlighten you. All these things, do it regularly. And God forbid, when such cases happen, do not despair. Continue with your practices, or find people who are with these practices who will enlighten you on this path. Keep you positive, because if the family is positive, If the family is strong and looking for with clarity, then definitely they will get the remedy. So this lady whom I was talking about, she operated from that zone and she could make her life beautiful. So there are possibilities. Please do not despair.
Beautiful, ma'am. So, like you rightly said, support is always available. Ask and you shall get it. So that is what all of us also have to get a little accustomed to, and to reach out. So talking about on the topic of reach out, ma'am. So how can family and patients contact you for, let it be consultancy, let it be for understanding better as to how they can handle and tackle these kind of situations, and also for healings and treatments with sound?
They can contact me through my website, which is sujatasinghi.com. And you will get all the details there. Okay. So if a person just goes on to the website, which is my name, sujatasinghi.com, they will find the details and they can connect. And they can read the book Power of Sound to get an idea about how it works. And of course, Reclaim Your Riches, which has become a bestseller today. So they can read that book as well, so that on a regular basis, you are with the right mindset. We don't have to wait for diseases to give us that particular pump that you have to do something now. So better start your journey when everything is fine. Like it is beautifully said by Kabir Das ji, दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे न कोई, जो सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख काहे होई. So I guess if we are able to understand these lines, our life will not be troublesome or will not be into a slump as we see. And human beings, we tend to forget this again and again, but with Reclaim Your Riches, I guess you will be able to activate your life in the right way. And as rightly said by Niveta, it is like a modern day Bhagavad Gita. So that was something which was beautifully put up. Read, and every time you will get a new perspective. You will see your life in a new way and reclaim your riches, be it wealth, happiness. It is also about relationships. So everything. And when you have everything, life is never a struggle. You start living joyously.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am. Power-packed information pack for our viewers. And for all our viewers, if you're really looking for a power-packed book for your weekend, grab Reclaim Your Riches. It will transform your life in so many ways. And once again, hats off to you, ma'am, for a brilliant written statement of what we can do to reclaim our riches on a day-to-day life, and for this very informative video on how cancer can be battled through effective sound and also a positive mindset. Thank you so much, ma'am. Atma Namaste.
Namaste, Atma Namaste. Thank you. Hello, we have Niveta here today and she is going to share her journey with Reclaim Your Riches.
Hello, Dr. Sujata Singhi, ma'am. I have to first start and say, what a brilliant book. It is power-packed with information. It tells you not just on a spiritual level how to raise your vibration, which is one of the key components that most of us forget. How to focus. If you want to manifest on something, you have to first learn to get to that manifestation by raising your vibration. And Reclaim Your Riches, in the first 10 pages, will tell you exactly the science behind how you have to do this. And it has been brilliant. I actually, it has just been launched a few weeks back, but I used the power of Reclaim Your Riches to manifest this dream position that I've always wanted, and it came through in so many ways that you can't even imagine. It just came through, and one step after the other, I succeeded through the interviews, and I'm now in this position where I've landed the dream job, and I am so happy about it, and I cannot express enough about why everyone should have a piece of this cake, this yummy cake called Reclaim Your Riches, and start reading it. It will transform your life. It will transform your mind. It will transform your body, and it will make your life this amazing journey that you are absolutely going to enjoy and love. So here is for all of you to reclaim your riches, and thank you, Dr. Sujata Singhi. Ma'am, this has been a brilliant journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Those who would like to read the book Reclaim Your Riches, which is now a bestseller in 3 categories, so you can actually grab the book on Amazon, check out, read it, transform your life. Thank you.
What do you want? Ma'am, so one of the things I wanted to ask you is, how do we handle normal stress levels and mental levels and keeping it back to normal, especially during this pandemic? I think it's thought a lot of people thinks that they never knew about themselves, inner things. So how can people handle this effectively? Let it be cancer patients or regular people. How to handle this?
Now, since we were talking about cancer patient, I guess I have spoken about it. But looking at the mental wellness, mental and emotional wellness during the pandemic. Now, here often I talk about it in various talks is that pandemic is something, the COVID, we all know, we are aware about it. Fine. But are we ready for the next upcoming pandemic, which is going to be bigger than what we are facing right now? And that is mental and emotional well-being not in place. That is, mental health is actually in a very, very bad state currently. According to the WHO also, the next pandemic is the mental illnesses. Currently, we see that 75% of the people who are in the underdeveloped countries, that also includes countries like the Bangladesh, the Pakistan, and India also to an extent, wherein 75% of the mentally ill people are not getting the particular treatment as required. Also, the associated taboo that you cannot go and see a psychiatrist. If you're seeing a psychiatrist, you are labeled as MAD or something, which is not very healthy, which is not actually encouraging the person to see a specialist who can help in time. Often, such conditions, they are prolonged for a long time till it becomes a cause of concern. So during this pandemic, we have to see that the divorce rates have increased. Also given, like just now as mentioned by you, 30% rise in divorce cases. Now, it's only because of the emotional and adaptable intelligence not being in place. Everybody comes with a belief system and they continue with that. And because we're all confined to the house, that energies of anger, fret, disgust, not feeling up to the mark, low self-esteem, doubting, all these things is actually adding on to the mental sickness. So we have to first learn about emotional and adaptability intelligence before we can look into let it not become a mental illness, something which can be caught hold of right now so that we are more prepared for the next pandemic, which is a mental health. So this month, October, we need to see that it is not just a month of reminder. This should continue throughout the year. Like we have our birthdays, it is not that on that day we become 40 years or 50 years old. It is through the process of the whole year that you become 40 or 50. Similarly, throughout the year, try to learn something which is going to keep you in a positive mindset. Because it's a choice we make. You have a choice to either ignore or you have a choice to take action. So here I would recommend all the people, take action. Now, mental illness is not just for the people who are the working population. It's seen even in the children, it's seen even in the elderly. Because of this new way of life, which we had never thought of. And we as humans, we are social beings. We need interaction. We need human connection. How much can we sit and just look at the screen and say, okay, I'm connected to you? We definitely need the touch, we need the feel, we need to see, we need to feel one another. That is very important. We need the company of people around us. And in this isolation somewhere, it has been reduced. I would say thanks to technology, still we are connected, but it is reduced to such an extent that our conscious and the subconscious mind is being hurt. So we need to take care of that. And it's very sad to say that 1 out of every 5 person in India needs medical attention with regards to mental health. So with that bad statistics, we need to step up and take care of ourselves. There are various places where you can actually connect to, meet people in small numbers and do some activity together. Take up a hobby which you had always thought that you would want to do. Connect to people that you had not connected to since a long time because of your busy schedules. Make the most of it. Whatever it is that you wanted to do, take it up. A small step. Every small step we take will eventually land to some happiness. And because of that, our mental and emotional state is going to be happy. Do not dwell into any sadness. Don't allow yourself to be in that well, thinking about the problem. Just open yourself and see what is it that makes me happy. What is it that I can do? From where is this sadness coming in? Is it important for me to dwell in it? Is it going to serve me in any way? Is it going to help me in any way? If it is going to help, 100% go. Keep dwelling into it. But if it is not serving, step up and take action. That is very important. So it's a very good question which you have put up, because the pandemic needs more people being awakened, learning the aspects of life which is more positive, and taking the life in a stride, because we cannot control the environment. What we can control is something that is our mind, and a healthy mind will give a healthy body. So that is the reason I would say, be in the company of people who teach you something positive, learn something, teach something. If you know something, go ahead and start teaching. You can get connected to NGOs, start helping, because the more you help, the more is the dopamine which gets secreted into your body, more is the oxytocin which gets secreted, more is the serotonin which gets secreted, and you will see that your life will start transforming. So this is a time to give, and finally you will receive the happiness that you're looking for. So taking care of mental health is very important, and the next pandemic is going to be that. So start today. Don't wait for the pandemic to come. There is no vaccine for that. Remember. So start taking care from today itself.
Brilliant, ma'am. In giving, we receive. Beautifully. Thank you so much, ma'am.